My name is Marcia Nykamp. I am the Director of Sales at Driftscape, which is a visitor engagement platform for destinations and business improvement associations.
Thanks so much, Marcia. I know it's going to be a tough question to ask now at this point since we've worked with you for a while, but do you still remember like going back in time when you guys were evaluating different vendors? And I know your team is very diligent, very organized. So you've probably done really thorough evaluation of a lot of different vendors. So if you still remember uh, going back to that time, how Revit compared with other vendors, as well as like why did you choose Revit over the other ones? Could you share a couple of words about that?
Sure. I started looking at a few different vendors. What I was looking for specifically was somebody who was going to be able to help augment my sales team, which means prospecting more and helping us to book more product demonstrations for us. There were a lot of vendors who could do pieces of what Revit could do. For example, they would do email communications, but when it came to actually booking the product demonstrations, they wouldn't do that piece of it. So my team would end up having to chase those prospects to book the actual product demonstration. That was one of the deciding factors, but also the team themselves at Revit just felt more personable and more like an extension of my team compared to other organizations that I spoke to felt a little bit more corporate and not somebody that I could actually work with.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Appreciate it. Now the numbers question. So one of my favorites actually, especially the fact that there is no seven. So on a scale from 1 to 10, to 10, without seven, how would you rate the communication with our team and why you would give that
Sure.
rating?
So I would give Revit 10 out of 10 for communication. I have weekly meetings with Ben, who's my account representative. So I have weekly updates finding out what's happening with the programs, with the campaigns, but also anytime he has a question for me, he will send me an email. And vice versa, if I have questions, I can always reach out to Ben to ask those questions. Never had any issues with communication whatsoever.
Thank you. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate our team as subject experts and just, overall maybe the level of expertise that we bring into the partnership?
Sure. So again, 10 out of 10. We are, for the most part, cold calling and cold emailing our prospects. So I'm not a subject matter expert on how to cold email and get actual results. And a lot of the email templates that I was using previously didn't fit the mold of what actually works. So working with Revit, we've actually been able to see an increase in reply rates because they're actually using formulas that work.
Thank you so much, and actually really appreciate it. The all the feedback and 10 out of 10. It's uh, means a lot to us, and obviously, again, the we appreciate the feedback and the partnership. Now the third one here. So scale 1 to 10 without seven. How would you rate the level of transparency and just overall, the visibility and having access to all the materials and just knowing what's going to be done, when, and how is it going to be done?
Sure. So 10 out of 10 for this one as well. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm meeting with Ben every week. I know what campaigns you're working on. I know who you're reaching out to, why you're reaching out to them, what the reply rates were. So I always know what's going on. But also if it's in the middle of the week and I haven't chatted with Ben in a few days, there's also documents that I can actually log in to see what's happening in real time. So I always know and have a finger on the pulse of what's happening.
Thanks so much. Now, the another question, scale out of 10, without seven, the impact on the growth and, specifically more, when it comes to time and, us as a partner being able to take things off your shoulders and like focus on the other things. How would you rate that part?
So I would give Revit a 10 out of 10 for this. With a small sales team, it's really difficult to be able to do the amount of prospecting we need to do in order to get the results that we want. Before we were using Revit, we were seeing 3 to 4 product demonstrations a month. Now that we're working with Revit, we're seeing 10 to 15 product demonstrations a month. So there's real impact on getting those product demonstrations. And then if you want to take that even one step further, the result, because we're getting so many product demonstrations every month, with a 20% conversion rate, you can just do the math at how much impact that actually has as a company on our bottom line, but then also saving my team time in having to do the prospecting themselves.
It makes sense, and the compile effect is actually one of my favorite one. The longer you work, once you have really strong partnership, like every month, it's the build up momentum. So I absolutely agreed with you. And the last one here in this section, the on the scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the output and just overall the work ethic? When it comes to being results driven, just getting things done. And why would you give that rating?
So 10 out of 10. I know that Ben is always thinking about new and unique campaigns that we can be working on, asking me questions about uh how to respond to different prospects, and even how to approach different segments in different ways. So really appreciate that with the Revit team.
And I appreciate your involvement and just constant education, because obviously again we couldn't have done that without you. So learning from you, just being able to understand how is it done, how it should be done, and that's like the only way to some efficient partnership essentially. And the last question that I have here, this one's you know um, probably one of my favorite questions to ask as well. Knowing what you know today, and if you could go back in time, would you have signed with Revit, and like would you have started this partnership again, and why?
So for all the reasons that I've already spoken to, 100%, I would go back and start working with Revit again. It's just had a really big impact on for my sales team.
Thanks so
I want
much.
to add one extra point if I can as well. So,
Absolutely,
I wanted
absolutely.
in, so a lot of times I'm asked, how do you work with Revit, and how do you make sure that they're doing the prospecting that you want them to do? And you kind of alluded to this already, but it's really important to treat Revit as an extension of your team. Educate them with the tools and the collaterals that you would to a new team member, and then make sure you're providing feedback along the way, because the Revit team will 100% adjust to the way that you want them to work.
Thanks so much. And then I think from my side, as the founder of the company, like again, we are so lucky to work with clients, that are looking at us as an extension of the team, because like we literally, feel appreciated. We get your energy, like we get smarter, and then like we know this is like an ever-ending journey. So like we kind of have to, keep the bar high as we go. But it's so much fun and enjoyment just to be able to share the whole journey, with the clients like that. And so thank you as well, Marcia, for all the support, for your feedback today, and for, again, every day and every step of the journey.
Yeah, no problem.